Hello, Rejects.
Hello, Rejects.
It's Greg here.
It's Greg here.
And this is Johnny.
And this is Johnny.
I was looking at analytics today, and I noticed how a lot of our subs have been coming in from India lately. And you know what they say? You gotta tend to the subscribers.
Like a field.
Most of our subs are from the United States.
Fruit,
but you know what? We got a lot of support and a lot of comments, a lot of requests coming in from India fans now. So we're like, you know what?
Fans of India.
Yeah, from fans of India. Yeah.
That country is so cool. Can you talk about more of their cultural art?
We got a lot of subs coming in, and I was like, you know what? I usually just wait to, wait upon my brother's request, Jaby Koay, to go and watch a video with him at his place, if it's an Indian trailer, and review it. But today I was like, you know what? I don't want to drive there tonight. Parking's a little hard there sometimes. So I'm going to watch this trailer with John. This is for the film I don't know how to say. I'm really bad
Dangal?
with pronouncing words I don't know. Dangal. And comes out on Christmas. It is almost 3 hours long. Whoa.
Dude.
That is a long film.
Bollywood movies are long.
Wow.
They are. Their attention span must be much longer than ours.
Oh, yeah. No, us Americans are impatient beings.
Unless it's okay, this is a very special event.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a double movie.
I know very little about it. I know it's a biopic about a father who raised his daughters to be wrestlers, and in this part of the world where they're at, it's really much frowned upon. Because I think a big message of the film, from what I was reading online, was about how deals with equal rights and equality. That even if I'm not sure, let's just watch the trailer and maybe I'll be able to phrase what I'm trying to say.
Really explaining this very well to me. Yeah. I know what to expect.
There's subtitles in this one. Woo! This is gonna help us out a lot.
Yeah. Hey, visually interpreting is fun.
Disney.
Interesting.
Disney India. He secured 5 points for himself. He's won the wrestling championship.
Whoa.
Dope. That's a cool line. Oh, nice. Oh, you're speaking my language. No, that's not a...
जो मैं करना चाहता था वो हमारा बेटा करके दिखावेगा देश के लिए गोल्ड जीतेगा हमारा बेटा अपना तिरंगा सबसे ऊपर लहराएगा
वाह
मुबारक हो भाई साहब चौथी भी छोरी हुई है
It's got 4 girls. Oh man.
गीता और बबीता
I met dads in this.
पर मेरा जो सपना है ना सिर्फ छोरा ही पूरा कर सके
Interesting.
देखो ना भाई साहब कितनी बुरी तरह से मारे हैं सुझा दिया है मार के
His daughters did it?
मैंने ना मारा था
गीता बबीता ने मारा है
Nice.
Damn.
शुरुआत इन्ना करी थी पापा मना कुतिया कह रहा था बबीता ने कमीनी हम ना बेटा थे तो चार
होता रहा कि छोरा होता तो देश के लिए कुश्ती में गोल्ड लाता
Oh yeah.
वो बात मेरी समझ में ना आई कि गोल्ड तो गोल्ड होता है छोरा लावे या छोरी
Oh, whoa. That's a hard exercise.
पहलवानी से इनका ध्यान हटावेगी मैं उसने हटा दूंगा
Damn.
अब तक गलों का
एक बात हमेशा याद रखना बेटा अगर सिल्वर जीती तो आज नहीं तो कल लोग दंगा भूल जाएंगे गोल्ड जीती तो मिसाल बन जाएगी और मिसालें दी जाती हैं बेटा भूली नहीं जाती
भेड़ की हाहाकार के बदले शेर की एक दहाड़ है प्यारे दंगल दंगल सूरज तेरा चढ़ता ढलता गर्दिश में करते हैं तारे
Ouch. This is bone crunching.
Yeah, this is intense.
Is that a girl? That's a guy. Okay.
Jeremy Shine.
पहलवानी तो सिर्फ छोरे करें
हमारी चोरियां चोरों से कम है के
Oh.
That's right.
Oh.
Don't think that.
Hey man, that movie looks
That looks
sweet.
pretty sweet, yeah.
That looks like a sweet fucking film.
Yeah.
Disney's live action India films look way better than the American.
I would go watch this in December. Hell yeah.
Dude, that looks like awesome. I don't know how the arcs of this is going to go. I'm not exactly 100% sure what the messages of this are, but I can tell you right now that there are some definitely intriguing characters. No, I'm not familiar with the actual true story that this is based on. Besides that, I found myself, before any of the cool shit started happening, I was very invested in this character. Like, you know, that this father having that you know, the man nightmare of having, you know, just nothing but daughters, because that can be scary for a lot of men. And I've met fathers who have only daughters as children. But I like the approach here. It wasn't because the mentality approach was, you know, the father was kind of coming from a meaningful yet kind of a selfish place. You know, because it's about winning the goal, but there's still a lot more meaning to it. It's not like a greedy kind of desire. It's a very like symbolic kind of desire to make his country proud.
Yeah, and I'm actually curious as to how this film will handle that, because there's a lot you can do with that, because you can add a nuance to that story about, I don't know, like when you're so determined on a goal that you're gonna make your kids see it through, like that can be kind of an abusive situation, like you know. So like I'm interested in as to how much of those, you know, levels they're going to explore with it. I mean, it seems like it's definitely like a female empowerment story. Like,
absolutely,
definitely.
Especially with that last line. That was
Yeah.
a dope last line. You think our girls are lesser than boys? Oh,
Boom.
boom!
Right there. It's a rhetorical question and it's an exclamation point.
I just think the dad character is very intriguing because even though he feels like disappointed in, like, it seems like in a way that he's kind of like just disappointed with himself and life in a lot of ways, and he just feels down on his luck with the fact that he only had daughters, and it's an interesting, but you still see he's probably a good dad still. He's probably still someone who loves his children already. It's not
Yeah,
like,
I mean, he doesn't seem like a, you know, like a
doesn't seem like he
bad
hits them or
guy
something, you know,
hostile guy.
Yeah.
He just seems very determined and quietly passionate.
I'm cool with them placing that front and center of this man who wanted his child to live out the legacy that he wished to fulfill. I feel like a lot of the times that's either tried to do a little bit more, not as in front of the page, but sometimes it's
Subtext.
yeah. I know what that means. But just that way that scene played out when the boys came all beaten up, and because we knew the minor plot of this, of how that was probably the daughters who kicked their asses, that was so sweet because it wasn't something of like, this guy has daughters, he's like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna train them anyway.
Yeah.
He like saw that there's fighters inside of his daughter still, so he still passed it along to them. And
He saw
you know?
past it and realized that it didn't matter. Like, you know,
Yeah.
he saw like all it takes is that spark, and that's, you know, that's the thing that matters. You know.
And these girls look like they're really kicking some ass. Some of those training sequences, like, what is that thing where they're like have their backs arched and their head is in the ground?
I don't know. I mean, that must be some kind of.
We wouldn't do that if
complex
Berkram
muscle
Yoga
exercise.
here.
This is not a relaxing
This
sport.
is not a yoga studio in Studio
like
City,
a unifying
California.
sport.
that is rough. There just seems to be a lot of life and passion in this story that's being told, with a lot of great messages in there and themes. What's surprising to me about it is it doesn't look cheesy. It actually looks really well told in an inspiring way.
It is very effective. I mean, it is also sweeping. At least this trailer is very sweeping. All the hues are really up high.
It just
you know,
looks
everything
badass, though, man.
But but it's also, you know, like, there is something about the story where you really do just want to see it through, and you really do invest, or at least I did. Like, I watched this and I was like, I really want to see, like, go, and please, like, succeed. I want this to succeed. So yeah, it does kind of grab you with a really kind of universal thing, I guess.
There's an action film called Hannah, which stars, some people call her Saoirse Ronan. Saoirse Ronan. Yeah. You don't have to whisper if I'm looking for the name, Kyle.
Saoirse.
Saoirse.
Editors.
Or she goes by Saoirse.
Swarsha.
How do you know that?
Swiffer.
What, do you have like a baseball card? The stats. Holographic.
I'm
Saoirse.
Saoirse Ronan. In the beginning of that movie, I loved how, because their character is a 15-year-old girl, and then the first scene that you see them happen is she's fighting Eric Bana in the snow, and then later on you find out that it's her father, and he's been training her all these years. That's like a much more heightened plot about spies and all that shit. But I did get a resemblance here of that, because I love seeing badass females in stories.
Yeah.
Females who can kick ass, where they're not just like they're a cool fighter, but they're also just a cool character. And you got like these girls here who just seem like really cool characters. And there also seems to be an emotional depth here that doesn't seem to be in your face about it. Because I didn't see a scene in this trailer that was like, you've been forcing us to do this whole time. Like them having some. Maybe there's a scene in the movie itself.
Well, it's a long movie. Yeah. But that's the stuff I'm curious about with this. Like, you know, and how much are they going to dig into their message? Because that's an interesting point. I love seeing badass female characters, too, that are still kind of allowed to still be female, you know? Because sometimes it's just like they're a glorified dude. I'm really curious to see how this movie tells it. It seems like it's got its heart in the right place, and it's telling an important
badass females
story.
To me are like the same thing when I see like a badass human character, you know, like who's a guy. I think that if you're emotional but you can also kick ass, that's the coolest character ever.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's like the best version of that is when, you know, they're still like essentially female, but, you know, they have all these other qualities.
I'm gonna definitely keep a lookout for when this gets a release in the United States, because anytime I see a trailer from like any of these Indian films, I'm always so impressed by how they're shot.
Yeah,
they're so beautifully shot.
Must be incredible.
They're all good. They're not like that cinematographer who worked on J. Edgar.
They're really striking, and they're really striking and really, you know, composed. You know, there's lots of interesting design and symmetry and life, and even in this, where like, you know, it's not as like garish as maybe some of the older. You know, the older Indian cinema is. Even the sort of more modern color palette still feels very saturated and very lush.
Well, this comes out December 23rd. I might spend December 25th, Christmas Day, not at Mass at St. Charles.
Mass.
I was going to say Sunday Mass, but I don't know if it falls on a Sunday. Well, December 23rd might be a Friday or a Wednesday. Never a Monday. Thanks, guys, for recommending that to us.
Hey, it seems like it's an important story for Indian history. It's not just really cool looking movie. It's also like, and this is also part of our history.
Yeah.
Know? And hey, that's important too. You know, like
that is
bring
important.
more culture into the world sphere. You know, like help us to stop ignoring other places in the world.
This is my cat, guy. The Copper. I have another one named Todd, but he won't come up here.
He's camera shy.
Anyway, rejects, if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe today and get accepted. Get accepted. Hey,
we will mail you a
I think
copy
I might have actually
of accepted.
I think I might have actually come up with a way to end the videos that I like. That doesn't feel as that. No, not more than that. All right, rejects, subscribe today and get accepted.
Hell yeah.
That's cool. It's just as cool as this trailer. John is Reasons to Jerry on Facebook. No, he's not. On Twitter and Instagram. And he is also the social media manager at Facebook.com/TheRealRejects and Facebook.com/Bloomhouse. If you guys haven't heard of Bloomhouse, they're fucking popular. Take care.